Before we begin, breathe for a moment. Let yourself land right here. Because what you're about to hear is the reminder your soul has been whispering for years, but you were too tired to catch. This is not motivation. This is recognition. You've walked through seasons that would have shattered a weaker heart. Not storms on a forecast, but the kind that unravel you quietly while the world assumes you're fine. You carried invisible battles with no applause, tended to wounds you never had the luxury to explain, and kept moving even when your inner flame was dimming. That persistence wasn't random. It was sacred strength in motion. You've been in an initiation without knowing it, shaped slowly and silently into someone the universe could trust with higher ground. Every challenge refined you, carving away what could not travel with you. Before any rising, there is always a recalibration, and that's what your life has been, a hidden transformation wrapped in struggle. When life is preparing to shift you upward, it loosens the pieces that no longer belong. It lightens the load you've been carrying for far too long. Former identities fade. Old expectations fall away. Versions of you built for survival dissolve so the truer self can breathe. That's why everything recently felt like it was slipping through your fingers. Relationships ending, paths closing, confidence shaking. Not punishment. Realignment. The universe never takes what is meant for you. It removes only what blocks your ascent. You cannot rise while gripping the remnants of your past. And you, of all souls, were never designed for a life lived low. You were built to move with the wind of purpose. Think of all the times you rebuilt yourself from dust. All the times you whispered to your own heart, "One more try." That grit wasn't just endurance. It was a declaration. Each time you stood back up, you were telling creation that you're ready. Ready for blessings that require depth, not illusion. Because elevation isn't gifted, it's earned in alignment. The universe lifts those who can carry the weight of clarity and grace. And you've done that in silence, in shadows, in rooms where no one saw the courage it took to keep going. So if these words reached you now, it isn't by accident. This is your signal. You are no longer in the testing ground. You're standing at the doorway of recognition. The harshest chapters are behind you. Every delay, every heartbreak, every quiet night where your thoughts felt too loud, all of it was preparing you for this exact threshold. You were never overlooked. You were being shaped. The heaviness wasn't meant to bury you. It was meant to open you. In the last chapter of your life, chaos disguised itself as collapse, but it was actually construction. What cracked your heart was clearing space. What ended abruptly was redirecting your path. What felt like absence was guiding you deeper into your own truth. The universe doesn't build with softness alone. It builds through unraveling illusions and dismantling what could no longer hold your growth. You can't ascend while clinging to lessons meant only for a season. So what life removed was a gentle correction, even when it felt like loss. There is a strange grace in how the universe operates. Right before you rise, it feels like the ground is disappearing beneath you. You may have mistaken it for punishment, but it was positioning. Every breakdown was an invitation to surrender the version of you that no longer fits the life you're stepping into. Imagine a seed under the earth. From the outside, it looks like darkness and pressure, but inside, something miraculous is happening. It's splitting open to become more than it ever was. And that's what your soul has been doing, breaking the shell to let your next chapter emerge. That season of unraveling softened you in ways that matter. It sharpened your intuition, expanded your awareness, and connected you to a deeper current of wisdom. The ache made room for light. The silence taught you to listen inward. You began following the subtle pull of your higher self, the quiet knowing that kept telling you you're being guided. Those who left created space for people who can meet you where you're going. The opportunities that dissolved made room for purpose to find you. The loneliness carved a path back to your own essence. And maybe you've noticed the shift. You're calmer now, less reactive. You no longer chase what depletes you. You no longer seek closure from places that never deserved access to your heart. That isn't detachment. That's mastery. Elevation doesn't always arrive as thunder. Sometimes it comes as patience, as boundaries, as choosing peace over proving a point. That stillness you feel after chaos is the rhythm of someone who is rising. You're moving at a new frequency now, one where faith carries more weight than fear. The moments that once broke you have become the foundation of your wisdom. The cracks you used to hide are now openings for your light to pour through. You're standing in the sacred in-between. No longer who you were, not yet fully who you're becoming. And this is where the universe crafts its most beautiful work. This moment right here is evidence of your evolution. You didn't simply survive the breaking, you transformed because of it. You've moved through the breaking, and now you're standing in that tender space where endings echo behind you and beginnings haven't fully spoken your name yet. It's a quiet stretch, almost weightless, where certainty feels far away. But this in-between is where the universe works with its most deliberate hands. Every chapter that closed, every distance that formed between you and those who couldn't grow with you, every unexpected pause that made you question your direction was part of your shaping. You were never being punished. You were being placed with intention, shifted inch by inch toward a life aligned with who you're becoming. The universe has been tuning your inner world with great care, adjusting your energy, strengthening the steadiness of your spirit, turning you into someone who can not only welcome blessings, but sustain them without losing yourself in the process. Elevation isn't about acquiring what you desire. It's about maturing into the vessel, capable of holding it with grace. Think back on the moments that felt like rejection, the plans that dissolved, the connections that thinned until they finally broke. In time, you realized each one was a shield disguised as disappointment. The people who parted ways were never meant to witness the version of you that's emerging. The doors that locked behind you were sending you towards something far more aligned than you could see at the time. Even the silence, the kind that made you plead for answers and hear nothing in return, was gently teaching you faith. Because when you're being lifted to a higher chapter, clarity doesn't walk ahead of you. Trust does. You're being taught to navigate by intuition rather than evidence, to follow the quiet tug of your inner knowing instead of the noise of fear. And that's what makes this season sacred. Your soul has learned to sense divine timing, not through signs carved in stone, but through the peace you feel when something is right for you. Preparation rarely looks beautiful. It happens in the overlooked spaces, the nights where you outgrow parts of yourself without anyone noticing. It feels like restlessness. It feels like being ready for something you can't yet name. There's a reason the universe hides you before it reveals you. It pulls you into its quiet workshop, smoothing out old patterns, trimming away habits that no longer honor your growth, teaching you to rest rather than rush. You were never forgotten. You were being refined, because rising without readiness only leads to collapse. And your journey was never meant to end in collapse. You were meant to step upward with steadiness, with softness, with grace. Lately, you may have started noticing the subtle currents guiding you. Tiny nudges that seem too precise to be chance. Repeating numbers, unexpected synchronicities, moments of sudden clarity that appear without explanation. This is not random. This is the quiet language of the universe, a tender conversation woven through your days. It doesn't need to shout. It speaks through alignment, through the small details until you can no longer ignore the message. What may appear as coincidence is actually careful orchestration. Every step you've taken, even the ones that felt lost or uncertain, has been guided. That gentle pull toward something new, the awakening desire to expand, the serenity that emerges after years of struggle, these are all confirmations. The universe has been preparing you for this ascent all along. Now the signs are abundant because your inner frequency has caught up with the reality you once prayed for. You've released the urge to control, you've met the lessons, and your energy has aligned with the flow of life itself. You are no longer chasing purpose, you are becoming it. Every delay that once felt like stagnation was actually preparation. Every seeming loss was redirection. Everything you endured was guiding you toward the person you were meant to be. And now you have entered a chapter where elevation is no longer something ahead of you. It is the ground you stand upon. You can feel it beneath your feet, the subtle shift of your world rearranging itself to mirror the transformation inside. You are no longer being tested, you are being trusted. The timing of this message finding you is no accident. It is alignment. Your inner growth has begun to ripple outward. Even if you cannot yet see the full scope, you are already rising. And often, elevation arrives in whispers, in quiet currents, not in thunder. The subtle, unshakable momentum of your soul stretching into what it was always meant to hold. You are stepping into a reality that has been waiting for you all along. Elevation doesn't always arrive with grand gestures or dramatic shifts. Sometimes it moves in quietly, like a gentle stillness that replaces old turbulence. It comes through ease instead of struggle, through conversations that nourish rather than drain, through opportunities that unfold naturally instead of being forced. That is how you know your vibration has shifted. You're no longer pulling what challenges you. You're drawing in what resonates with your growth. Perhaps lately you've sensed it, the subtle difference in how the world responds to you. Challenges no longer spark panic. Life no longer requires you to push against its current. You are allowing, not forcing. This isn't luck. It's alignment with a rhythm far greater than your own. The version of you who once feared, doubted, or overthought could not hold this space of quiet power. But now you've learned to trust your unfolding. You've realized that what belongs to you will arrive effortlessly when your energy is ready to receive it. True elevation is not measured by outward acclaim. It is the inward expansion that releases fear, scarcity, and the old narratives that once ruled you. You've begun mastering your own vibration, and within that mastery lies real influence. It is remarkable how the pains that once controlled your heart now pass through without tethering you. The old triggers have lost their weight. This is what rising feels like. Internal sovereignty over your own life. Peace has become your wealth. Boundaries, your strength. Stillness, your power. You are finally aligned with your higher self, and that alignment is magnetic. What you once sought externally now finds its way to you effortlessly. Take a moment. Breathe. Look at where you are, not where you came from. Notice the subtle synchronizations, the doors opening just when you need them, the inspirations arriving like quiet sparks. These are the markers of your elevated frequency. You are no longer the seeker. You have become the living embodiment of your own intentions. Elevation is already at work in your thoughts, your choices, your energy. The universe is no longer a distant teacher. It has become a co-creator. Every element around you now responds to the light you carry. Your brilliance isn't waiting for the future. It is here. It is now. You are rising, and everything within and around you is rising with you. If these words resonated with you, pause for a moment and feel it fully. Let this energy settle in your chest. Now imagine what it would feel like to step even further into alignment, to let your growth continue without hesitation. Share this message with someone who might need this reminder today, and in doing so, allow the ripple of your own awakening to reach another. Subscribe, follow, or return whenever you need to reconnect with this frequency. Let's rise together, quietly, powerfully, naturally.